We are doing something a little bit different today. Team are heading out to the RNA showgrounds to style some caravans. So we had a phone call a couple of weeks ago from Megan. She runs Green RV Campers, and she had a different dilemma to what we normally would have come through the phone. She had 47 caravans that she needed styled for the Caravan and Camping Show. It wasn't just 47 beds she needed styled, she needed 47 beds with a combination including doubles, queens, as well as single beds to be done, as well as some simple styling in the kitchen spaces. We thought it was a pretty cool challenge. The team got very excited by it, so we thought, hey, why not? We'll do it for something different. So we're going to take you through to the RNA showgrounds today. We totally underestimated the number of bags and how much linen, reflecting we should have been better at that, but how much linen bags and everything it was going to take. We thought we'd easily be able to fit it on a truck with an install. We were wrong. We actually now have multiple cars as well as another truck heading out on site. We're going to take you with us, show you the end result, and then we'll reflect a little bit later. All right guys, so we had a massive day yesterday. We were going to film at the end of the day, except it was actually nighttime by the time the team got back to the warehouse. Huge day getting everything sorted. It wasn't just, as you will see in the footage, it wasn't just in one site, which we were anticipated just in site 260. It was actually spread across multiple tents. But I think potentially the biggest challenge that you'll see, I'm sure we've got footage of how hilarious it was seeing some people squeeze themselves into some bunk beds, was how tight some of those spaces were to be able to make a bed. We all know how joyful bunk beds are to make at the best of times, but when it's literally squeezed into the side of a caravan, it makes it that much harder. So let's reflect, let's talk about it. So awesome for team morale. Everybody wanted to be involved in it. Everybody volunteered and said, I'd love to get there. On the day, it was something also extremely exciting in the build up to getting it all organized. It had really great response also on our Instagram. Again, everybody thought it was a really cool thing to be able to be involved in. Now, when I reflect on it from a business sense, so when we got asked, we were like, 47 beds? Yeah, we can do that. That won't be an issue. Let's just, we'll get that done in, we'll smash it out in 2-3 hours. We actually charged our minimum charge to get a truck on site. So I only charged $3,100 for that event. We ended up having 3 people on site for almost the entire day. So they left the warehouse at 8:30 and didn't get back to the warehouse until 6 o'clock that night. That was a really big mistake. Reflecting on that, need to charge hourly, not package based. And it's a really great learning for us to go forward if there are any more event styling jobs that we do get through the door. We have done them before. I know that we will do them again, but it's a really good opportunity to reflect on it. Now, not just time based that went into it on the day. However, if you consider how many beds of linen we actually have available at the warehouse at any one time, 47 extra on top of what we would normally do, we didn't have quite enough linen. So I actually had to spend $2,800 on linen at Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk do love us. It was a click and collect that I grabbed on a Sunday. We will use that linen going forward, so that's not really a really big deal, but it's a really good learning for us when we're thinking about how to charge for our time, how to make it worth it. For me, in my head, it made sense, $3,100 for a minimum job. We're not going to be there for very long. I completely underestimated it. Unfortunately for me, Jake did tell me that at the time we were quoting. He said we should charge more. I told him, no, it'd be fine. I have heard about it since, but it was really great for team morale.
What impact does styling have on a caravan when there is a fixed price anyway?
It's all about presentation. So there's a reason why you do a detail on a car before you get someone to inspect it. If you have that just go forward with an empty bed, you're losing that emotional connection and the luxury touch that having those beds styled go with it. You're obviously not selling it with the styling, it is just a little bit on top. It's the same as when you walk into Pillow Talk, you're not buying all the cushions that go with that bedspread, but they have it set up in the window for you walking through. Visual merchandising is incredibly important when it comes to retail, and you're selling a product at the end of the day, so it needs to be dressed properly.
Would it also be true that because there's so many other manufacturers there, this one would make Green RV stand out?
It'll be interesting to see, I would say, over this next week, how many of them actually were styled. And this is what Green RV were considering. Do they do it themselves or do they get somebody in to do it? Now, the difference of getting somebody in to do it is all the extra bits that we would have bought as well as the feather fill, everything, all the extra, which I would say if you were doing yourself, you wouldn't have necessarily done that. So I would say the investment will help them stand out compared to the others who are there. I myself have no idea what the numbers will be styled versus unstyled, and I think it would be really interesting to hear from the company as what sort of impact they felt that it had.
There's a balance between filling blank spaces and making things feel cluttered when we stage. How to ensure that in this tight environment like the caravan, we don't make it cluttered.
Yeah, so that was a intentful discussion that we actually had with the owner. So we could have gone crazy, could have done something on the dining table and something on the kitchen bench. We could have hung towels in the bathroom, all those sorts of things. We could have done more, but you've got to think about people coming into that caravan. And to be honest, there are some dining tables that I think we could have downsized the greenery on. When you're thinking about people going into that caravan, into a tight space, and looking around and having to be mindful of a vase on the kitchen table, like they're the sorts of things that we're trying to play around. So you make it easily accessible for the people coming through the product. You don't want to detract from it. You're simply making it feel a little bit better, and that you don't have to go over the top for that level. I hope so. We've done glamping tents before. We've had tiny homes reach out to see if we could help them with their product. It's just another layer of a different type of event styling. And at the end of the day, it's all about presenting a retail product and making sure that it presents perfectly. It's why Apple consider the experience of opening a box and that however many seconds it takes to open a box. There's so much consideration that goes into that. You should be doing it into any retail product. It's proven that it works. So getting the extra layers definitely makes sense.
Would we do it again?
100% we will do it again. We will charge differently. Not out of the realms of what would be affordable for the client, but honestly, it will change from a package model to an hourly model. That would be the difference.